Good boy or bad dog? Tell me what you think in the comments. But after she dropped her little dog off, the groomer gave her a big surprise, one that made her question everything. When a woman went to PetSmart, she wanted to get her long-haired Chihuahua groomed. The groomer said, "We don't cut tails here." This made the woman think that maybe they accidentally hurt her dog and that's why they cut his tail. Maybe it fell off because of an injury or something. But she knew she would see signs of pain if that were the case. Made him some delicious food and scratched him behind the ears. But he just kept looking at his own tail and whining. But when she tried to put him in his bed, he started crying. She asked him what was wrong, and he just kept saying she was so glad that she did this for him. Now, every time she saw a groomer, she would ask them not to touch his tail. "Do you think he'll ever grow another tail?" The vet laughed and said, "No, he won't." She was so glad that she got him the tail. The woman knew her dog missed his tail and wanted it back, so she decided to do something about it. She went online and found a place that could make a custom tail for her dog. They sent her a form to fill out with details about her dog and the tail she wanted. She filled it out and sent it back. He seemed to like it, and it made her happy too. One day, the woman and her dog were walking in the park when they met a man. "What happened to your tail?" he asked. The woman sighed and repeated what had happened. The man looked at the dog and said, "He looks so sad without it." "Why didn't you just let nature take its course?" the woman replied. "He might look sad, but that's only because he misses his old tail. It doesn't mean he's unhappy. He's just different now, and I love him anyway." The man thought for a moment. "Well, I guess that makes sense. As long as he's happy, that's all that matters, right?" The woman nodded and continued walking. "But that doesn't mean he can't be happy without it. In fact, I bet he's happier than ever." This made her smile. A vet was right. Inside was a beautiful, fluffy tail that looked perfect for her dog. She couldn't wait to show it to him. When she put it on him, he was so happy. It was exactly like his old tail, and he loved it. He ran around the house, wagging his new tail, and barked happily. Her dog was happy. She loved him the way he was, and that included his tail. Even though it wasn't the real thing, the dog didn't seem to mind. "I miss my tail. I miss my tail." This was awful for the woman to hear. She felt terrible about what happened to her dog. What was the man from before? The one who had questioned her about cutting off her dog's tail. But now he had a dog with him too. A beautiful golden retriever. The woman smiled and waved. "Hi there," she said. The man looked up and smiled back. "How are you?" The woman gestured to her dog. "Look at him. Isn't he amazing?" The man's eyes widened. "Where did you get that tail? It looks perfect on him." The woman laughed. "I made it myself. It's a place that made custom tails, and I thought it would be fun to get one for my dog. He seems to like it, doesn't he?" The man nodded. "Of course he does. It's his tail. It's part of him." She told him everything would be all right, but he wouldn't listen. He kept crying, and the woman cried with him. Wasn't happy at all. This was heartbreaking for her. She went online and ordered a prosthetic tail that would fit her dog perfectly. It took a while to arrive, but as soon as it did, she took it out and put it on her dog. At first, he didn't like it and tried to take it off. But the woman held him and told him everything would be fine. And slowly, the dog calmed down. He got used to the tail and even started wagging it himself. She felt so bad for her dog who lost part of himself. But she promised herself that she would do anything for him to be happy again. As she walked in, the vet looked at her dog and said, "Wow, what happened to your tail?" She explained what had happened, and the vet nodded understandingly. Then he turned to her dog and said, "Hey there, buddy. How are you doing?" The dog was a little scared, but he barked back. The vet smiled and said, "You're a brave boy, I can tell." He petted the dog and then turned to the woman. "Your dog doesn't need that tail to be beautiful. He's already perfect the way he is." The woman nodded, relieved that the vet understood. She would love him no matter what, with or without his tail. But her dog seemed so happy. He was licking his chops and wagging his entire body, not just what remained of his tail. Oh, but there was still no sign of the tail itself. So she took him to PetSmart and left him there for the day while she went shopping. She came back and picked up her dog, only to find out he didn't look the same at all. He looked way better. "Your dog had such a long tail that it dragged on the floor and got all dirty. We simply couldn't stand for that, so we shortened it up a bit so he could feel more comfortable," the owner said. "I never agreed to you cutting his tail. You should have asked me first." The groomer responded, "We do this all the time. It's nothing new. Besides, he looks so much better without it. Look how happy he is." Still, the owner wasn't convinced. She didn't want to accuse anyone of anything, but this was her dog, and she would know if something was wrong. His hair was cut, his teeth were cleaner, and he even seemed much happier. But then she noticed something weird. Her dog had no tail. The woman knew her dog had been well taken care of as a puppy, but she wasn't sure what had happened before that. And she had no idea why the tail was cut. Whether it was because of an injury, or if someone simply didn't like it and cut it off. Either way, it was done now, and she couldn't change it. All she could do was try to make her dog happy from now on. And this was a dog that had a tail as long as his body. The lady had a tiny dog, but it was very long-haired and needed a haircut. But when she asked the groomer where his tail was, things got really awkward. Then the groomer said, as she looked at her dog, she noticed he did seem happier. But it was hard to tell, because he was always happy. So she took him home. She made him his favorite food and played with him until he was exhausted. Then she got an idea. She looked into his eyes. She could tell he was so much happier now. He licked her face and barked happily. A while later, the woman took her dog to the vet for a checkup. As the vet examined her dog, she asked. After the checkup, the woman took her dog back home. They had been together for so long now, and the dog had never been happier. Well, except for one thing. A few weeks later, she got a box in the mail. One day, the woman and her dog were playing fetch in the park when she noticed a familiar face.